Hey everyone, it's Rob from Path of Night, recording this from my phone because we're on vacation. After episode 100, the Story of the Coterie and Path of Night's very first long-running campaign has come to a close, and so we wanted to thank you all so much for joining us on this journey. When we first started out, we were just honestly a bunch of friends who'd literally never done a podcast before, and now after so many years of passion and work, we have all of you joining us every episode. Man, like, we are so lucky to have made it this far. And so, yeah, firstly, we wanted to thank all of you from the bottom of our hearts for following our story. But now we've got a couple of announcements. First, as I'm sure you've guessed, we're taking a little time off. The podcast isn't over, not by a long shot, but we've been going nonstop for half a decade and kind of feel like we need to take a break to recharge our creative batteries. In the meantime, we are going to have some content, at least for the next little while for everyone. So, starting on Wednesday, October 30th, that's next release day, we will be dropping our annual Halloween one-shot. This year, Lex is going to run it. Madman just finished a 5-year game and is already gearing up for the next campaign, and he thought, hey, I got an idea. I want to run a game. So this year, maybe forget the usual comedy antics that, we do every year, as Lex runs the rest of us through the horrors of the Alien tabletop role-playing game. In space, no one can hear you scream. On November 6th, we'll be airing a one-shot that's been available for some time on the Ko-Fi for our subscribers that's canon to the Path of Night story. So, taking place while the Coterie is at the Bruja Rave, episode 69.5 Apocalypse follows a pack of werewolves called to deal with the strange spiritual sickness taking place in New Haven at a place known locally as Hell House.
The spirit world here is infested with the same blood veins and spirits of war that you had seen in the woods, perhaps even more so. You do what you can. You perform rites. You hunt and kill spirits. You make whatever small dent you can make into the troubles of New Haven as you make your path out towards Hell House.
Beginning in November, we're going to be doing a series of campaign wrap-up recordings where the cast reflects on 5 years of Path of Night story. 5 years to us, 4.5 to everyone else. And until we record, we're going to be taking questions for listeners and Ko-Fi subscribers for a Q&A section. So if you have anything you want to ask any of us about, submit questions through our Ko-Fi page or by email at pathofnightpodcast@gmail.com. We'll be releasing all the wrap-up and question responses to the main feed on our usual episode release days, starting on November 20th. So the more questions we get, the longer and more of those we'll have. So, send in anything you want to know. Also, we wanted to let you know that the Path of Night crew is actually going to be at PAX Unplugged in Philadelphia from December 6th through December 8th. We'll be releasing more details about where we're going to be and where you can find us closer to the event on our Twitter page, on Facebook. We might be making announcements through the actual feed itself. So stay posted for that. And if you're going to be in Philly, December 6th through 8th, come check us out and meet us in person. Now for the big stuff. While the story of Britta, Johnny, Miles, Neil, and Wynn is over, the Path of Night cast has more stories to tell, some of which are going to be canon to the world of Path of Night. Things might change going into the future, but right now the plan is to begin recording right after the new year, with regular episodes likely returning in late winter, early spring of 2025. Yes, for those doing the math on a calendar, it means we are only actually taking 1 week off from our recording schedule, but whatever, we're excited. So, when we start recording campaigns again, we want the opportunity to build up a bit of a backlog again. We were recording and editing the finale basically down to the wire, and we really want to avoid burning through the backlog again so we can take more breaks and keep things going into the future. So, without further ado, let's fill you in on what's coming. First, I'll be taking over the storyteller seat once more to run Path of Night, Brine and Blood, a Hunter the Reckoning story. The rest of the cast is going to play a group of imbued hunters fighting to take back the night from the things they can barely comprehend. world is getting darker. Most people try and keep their heads down, willfully unaware of the supernatural terrors that prey on them from the shadows. They shut their eyes to the truths around them, and if the rates of disappearances, violent crimes, and animal attacks are on the rise, so what? They've got a job to get to, TV to watch, families to disappoint. But even still, there's a rising panic. Confusion and terror prey at the edges of their minds. The truth can only hold out for so long, particularly as the monsters grow ever more bold. And there's more than just bloodsuckers stalking the alleys. There are more things than tooth and claw to fear in the places humanity doesn't tread. The dead are returning to life, consumed by rage and hatred towards the living. Corporations are destroying the world not just for profit, but intentionally corrupting and sickening their customers to feed a growing corruption that seeks to devour the world itself. And that's just on shore. Who knows what alien horrors lurk in the depths of the ocean? But an unlucky few have had their eyes opened, unable to stop from seeing the monsters of the world. Imbued with terrible sight and called by unknown messengers to stand against the darkness, a scattered group of individuals will be drawn together along the Atlantic coastline to face a growing threat they don't yet comprehend. In this time of judgment, there will be a reckoning. Honestly, I can't wait to showcase just how unsettling sort of some of the hidden corners of the World of Darkness can be, particularly the weirder, more specific parts that really fascinate and horrify me. And yes, this is going to be canon, so thank you, Lex, for letting me play around in your world. And of course, speaking of the man himself, after the conclusion of Brine and Blood, Lex is going to be taking the storyteller seat again to bring us back into the past for the Path of Night, The War of Ages, a Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages campaign. A 1,000 years before a young Toreador ever awoke in an alley in New Haven, Connecticut, there were other tales unfolding. Tales that predated the foundation of the Camarilla and its traditions. Predated the Sabbat and its holy wars. Tales that stretch from Saxon battlefields to the heights of the Carpathian Mountains. From cobblestone streets to castle towers. Tales of dark cities and darker woods. Of blood and romance. Of grudges and horrors that stretch through millennia. A group of Canaanites, brought together by the inscrutable interests of ancient elders, will look to navigate the politics and perils of the dark medieval world. As their tale unfolds, their bonds will be tempered in the fires of a conflict that threatens to consume them all. So, as much as we all need this break, we also can't wait to get back to sharing our stories with all of you. And like Lex said at the end of the finale, there will be a next time, Kindred. See you then. First, as I'm sure you've guessed, we've been taking a little... Ow, cat, ow! Oh my god. Have traditionally been doing as Lex runs us through... Cat, oh my god. Can I not have 2 seconds here? So this year, maybe forget the usual comedy antics we... Ow, stop it. Cat, you gotta move. You're right in the way of the script. And you're stepping on the keyboard. You can't do that. Here. Sit here. Sit still. I'm sorry I'm not paying attention to you. It's literally... This is 5 minutes. This is 5 minutes of recording. Closer to the event on our social media pages, or... Oh my god, Cat. Oh my god. Stop. Ow! Stop. Oh my god. I will play with you in a minute. You gotta relax. Go. Where's your mouse? Where's your spider? Go get your spider.